Repeat it several times, repeat it several times, repeat it several times, repeat it several times, so they'll get it. And welcome back to The Angry Teacher. I'm Richard Williams, The Angry Teacher. If it's your first time here, thanks for coming by. Chill with us for a while, and I would love you to join the community. So hit the subscribe down below and hit the notification bell, and you'll be part of the family. If you've been here before, glad you came back. I love you to death. You know this. Let's get into the video. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the A word. Nobody likes it as educators. Well, a lot of us don't like it as educators, but it has to happen. We got to know if we're reaching the kids, if they're learning from all the day-to-days that we do. So assessment, it's important. We're going to check out about 10 ways of how to assess students. It doesn't have to be, you know what, throw away or rip up those Scantron sheets. Do they still use those? Anyway, those bubbling sheets. Rip them up, throw them away. Because I'm going to give you about 10 ways to figure out how to assess if my kids have learned or if your kids have learned. Let's get into it. Number one, now, administrators may not like this, the districts may not like this, the state may not like this, the nation may not like this, but simply observe your kids. See what they're doing differently. After, you've gotten them you've done the diagnostic, or you've observed them in the first place, and they were at a certain level, or they couldn't do a certain task. Now, I need you to just, number one, just check it out. Look and see if after weeks of doing something, or after you've explained something, and you've given them the opportunity to practice, now just observe them. When you're giving it to them again, see how they do. Just look at if they've improved from point A to point C. Has there been a change? Are they still not understanding this quadratic equation? Are they still not understanding how to put a sentence together? Are they still not understanding how to wash their hands? Just simple stuff, just look at them. And then you can pull them aside and talk to them. But that's a part of assessment because you're seeing where they are. You're assessing their progress. Number two, interview them. I've been doing this a lot lately, especially when I teach AP. I like novelty, so some of the texts I'll just have them line up outside, or have them sit in the class and wait while I go into the hallway and kind of pull up a chair and desk and just have like a regular interview. I could talk about the characters. I could talk about the text in general. I could talk about different things relating to the text just to see if they've been reading, just to see if they know what's going on, just to see if they've been paying attention to our classroom discussions. So interview your kids. You can talk about the content and then how they've gotten to that answer. Like, comment, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for the next Angry Teacher Dope video, because you know it, every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all weekend, every weekend, there'll be a video to entertain and educate. Check them out. Lucky. Literally just probe them while you're teaching on whatever concept, and then you just like randomly throw a question out there. Oh, by the way, guys, remember when I said such and such last time? Who remembers blah, blah, blah? And if the kid knows, they can answer. So you know who was paying attention. You know who knows what's going on. And then some who would luck into that answer, and some who would be like, what? There was a lesson last week? Second round. Have students get a second chance to reevaluate their answers or to revisit something that they've done. And simply, I have my kids have an essay that they do like every so often, and every time they do one, I tell them what they did wrong, so they get a chance to revisit that and to fix it. So that's a way you can assess them, even though you've already given them the answers on how to fix it. To see them do it and have them practice it, that's another step of the second round. So, okay, they know that I got an F on the first one, or I got a D, but there is an opportunity for me to fix it and change it. So I'm still learning, I'm still revising, I'm still revisiting things that I need to do better. Second round. 5, the objectives. Have the objectives close at hand. In one of my previous videos, I talked about how kids can interact with the objectives and make it become a part of their psyche and their hearts so they can learn from it. With that said, you keep it close at hand. If it's not on the board or it's not posted somewhere in your classroom, have it available for you, like that little magic clipboard I talk about. You walk around, you have it, and then you can ask questions to probe and get them to figure out if they understand what objectives they're working on and how they are interpreting the objectives. Are they understanding the objectives for mastery? Are they there yet? So have that as a part of your questioning, and that will kind of help them learn and help you assess their learning. 6, match it. So you have, and you know, teachers do this all the time with the given or the expected assessments, you know, the diagnostic, the annual, the midterm, and then the final. But you can throw it in between. If I've given you an essay in the beginning or an assignment on sentence structure, and it doesn't even have to be an official assessment, but it's an assignment. And then a couple of weeks after I give you maybe the same one or a different one, how do you compare to the first? And that's what match means. We're just comparing your individual success and progress with your where you started from. Now, I have my kids keep a binder, and they would have their a chart that they put all their scores in, their test scores, and then they can navigate. And then we'll have a moment where we're putting in work, but we're also checking our progress. Have I changed? Has my grades gotten better in a particular area, in a particular objective, or in a particular standard that I need to understand? Am I getting mastery of it? So that is them also matching their present with their past to see what they have to do for their future. So this main, literally, is something that it's kind of embedded in all the other ones, where you have your objective posted, or they know what they're supposed to be doing for their objective. You've stated that, you've put it somewhere so they can see it. And so as you walk around, as they're working on an activity or as they're working on a skill, you're watching them to see if they've obtained mastery of it. Are they getting the main points of the objective? Main is important because it tells you if you have to reteach that objective, you have to revisit that part of the lesson. And it tells the kids if I'm learning it or not. So you have it posted, you have them observing it, and they can also help each other out. No, the main objective says student will be able to whatever, and you're not doing the whatever part. So they're checking each other on their advancement of that objective. All right, challenge number 8. If kids, and this works well with multiple choice, but it doesn't have to be used just for multiple choice. If kids have, we've answered the questions and yeah, I got 6 out of 6 correct and I'm feeling myself. Now you have to debate it. I'm challenging you. How did you get that answer? How did you get numbers 1 through 6 correct? So they have to defend themselves, and this could be orally or in groups. They have to defend their answers, and then someone who didn't get it correct can hear how those kids arrived at those answers before we go over it as a class. Or even while we're going over it as a class, someone says, oh no, that can't be the answer because she said here that she was going to, but she didn't. And so they start a discussion on the correct answer versus why the others are incorrect. So challenge is fun. It can get heated sometimes. Or if they guessed, you know what they're doing wrong. You're not thinking through it, you're just guessing, and you're lucky enough to get the right answer. But now you have to challenge. I'm challenging you. And you know what? It just occurred to me while I was talking to you. If you put challenge, if it's become a regular thing in your class, and if you put challenge as a part of your agenda, whatever, they're going to know that, okay, I can't just guess through this one. I'm going to have to debate and share how I got to that answer. So now I have to pay attention to what I'm doing. No more guesswork for me. Now, number 9 is something that's mostly for the teacher, and we can kind of hint at the kids to kind of focus, but for the most part, it's our environment. It's keep it quiet. Everybody knows when we're doing poetry in my class, especially if something that we've never been exposed to, we're going to be working. There are parts of it that you do not communicate with anyone. You don't have your headphones on. You don't look out the door. You don't look out the window. You are focused on what's in front of you. I walk around, I tap them, I need you to focus. I tap you, need to come back, focus. So for the teacher, this is keeping it quiet, making sure people are out of the hallway, they're not disturbing your particular class, make sure people are focused, they're not talking, they're not, even though you're seated in the groups or whatever, you are not being distracted by the people next to you in front of you or behind you. You're not worried about your phone. You're worried about the assignment in front of you. As teachers, you can tell the kids to focus. That's the only way it's going to help you. Number 10, the last part, or the last of the 10 assessments that I'm going to go over. There's some more, but I'm going to make another video for that. So repeat. There's this debate in education about the rote memorization and how some things, it needs to be application, and I get that. But sometimes the kids, we need to have them embedded here first before they can apply it. So after, some things, like everybody knows the I before E except after C rules. Some rules you have to memorize. You have to do rote memorization, and then you can start repeating it. And then you're going to have to start to practice it. And that is how we do the application. If I keep telling you this is how we break poetry down, it's rote. We're just going through the motions. We're doing it all over and over and over. And then the application, when I leave you to do it by yourself, you know how to do this. So they have to repeat an action several times. I think it's at least 16 times, but I'm not sure. Check me on that. Check it at least 16 times for something to become a part of your habits. So when you're doing the SQ3Rs, when you're doing the QARs, when you're teaching reading skills, you're teaching math skills, you're teaching all the different rules of math, the PEMDAS, all these different things, they need to do it several times, repeat it several times, repeat it several times, repeat it several times, repeat it several times, so they'll get it. Thanks for coming to class today. Let's just go out there and be great. Hey, let's just go out there and teach.